from NewsChannel 8, this is Toyota Sports Talk with Glenn Harris.
I don't know if you saw it, but what a showcase for college football. What an impressive win by the Buckeyes. Congratulations to Urban Meyer and Ohio State, who came all the way back from an opening loss to Virginia Tech to claim the national championship. Tonight on Sports Talk, what impact will the football playoffs have on the rest of college sports? Hey, that's a good question. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Sports Talk. I am Glenn Harris. Thanks for joining us. There's no disputing the new champions of college football, although I know my good friend John Booty would have loved to see TCU get back into the Final Four. But maybe next year. But could happen in the near future. The football playoff was a series of a ratings monster that you can't but wonder if football will start expanding the playoff field like they did in basketball. Joining us once more to weigh in, one of our favorite radio sports talk show hosts, Mark Gray. Man, I listened to you, man, 4 straight, maybe not in all the nights you were on, but I mean, 4 times. Man, you do a good job, man.
I'm just trying to keep it going like you did,
no, man,
bro.
but you did a great job, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
It's really good. So we'll open up for your calls with Mark, 703-387-1020. That's the number to call. And what do you think about the game?
Great game.
I thought it was great.
It was great. You know, you got to give credit where credit is due to Urban Meyer now. Could make a compelling argument the fact that he's the best coach in college football. What we're learning here, an Eagle fan is going to hate me for saying this, but you can gimmick, you can trick. At the end of the day, when you want to win a championship, you got to tighten up the chin strap and you got to knock somebody's head in the dirt, and that's what Ohio State did. They won the game in the trenches. When it became a mano-a-mano battle, they were the better team. That's why they're national champions. And Oregon, we see they're good enough to get there, but they just don't have what it takes to get over the top.
It could have gone either way with a couple of steps, you know, when they made a couple turnovers, but, you know, it just didn't come out right.
It was like the Florida State game. Florida State had 5 turnovers. Oregon was able to capitalize and score touchdowns off those turnovers. Against Ohio State, their defense manned up, and that was the difference in the game. Ohio State got the stops after the turnovers that Florida State couldn't. Much like Jameis Winston said, we beat ourselves, and they did. Ohio State tried to beat themselves, but their defense bailed them out.
And I think Florida State, they just got caught in a lot of shock football. I mean, as soon as they stepped up, they were ready to go. You know, Oregon was ready to go. And I just think the time that Urban Meyer looked at this ball club and said, you know what, we got something for these guys.
And then you can't put a premium on, and I hate to bring up a sore subject around. Remember the Villanova season against Georgetown? This was a team of destiny when you look at Ohio State. I mean, you had a third-string quarterback going mano-a-mano against a Heisman Trophy winner and outplaying him. You had a team that had significant injuries, and most of all, they had a death on that team. Those were galvanizing things inside a locker room, and I think the team grew as a family. And when you have that intangible element going into a championship setting like this, when that snowball gets to rolling, you just can't stop. This was a juggernaut. Can't take anything away from them.
Well, it's a young ball club. They may be back next year, but you know how college football is funny. You stumble around one year. I mean, like they lost to Virginia Tech this year. Please, if they play Virginia Tech tomorrow, they would kill them.
Probably so. And the thing that worries me, if you're an Ohio State fan, is the fact that Columbus, Ohio, is a place where you're in the football team, you're a celebrity. You're a national champion, you're an even bigger celebrity. You worry about players taking advantage of the perks. You're worrying about the Maurice Clarett syndrome, where you can't discipline yourself. You got that 3-headed monster at the quarterback position where there's some controversy. They got some intangibles to navigate through. A lot of talent, great coaching, all the elements are in place. They can repeat. Question is, will they?
Now they're talking about this kid being a pro already. Well, being a pro. Now, of course, he said the right thing. I don't think he'll be ready yet. He's still young, but he can throw the football. He can run it because he's so big and strong, but of course they got guys big and strong in the pros. But I mean, at this level of college football, he's a third-string guy. This guy, I mean, the other two quarterbacks would have never played if their first-string quarterback hadn't gotten hurt.
But it goes back to the point we were making. Cardell Jones probably would have been a starter had he not had off-field issues. He's a kid that had some discipline problems at Ohio State, which cost him sliding down on the depth chart, and Urban Meyer recruits, so it's always going to be a case of next man up. He looks to have the physical tools, but you only seen him in 3 games. It's an enormous risk. They got to do some tweaking with the rules. He's got 2 days to make a decision, and that's not enough time for him to make a real-life decision like this. So I would think that if you're in the national championship game, the NCAA or the NFL has to give you another couple of weeks so you can make an adequate assessment. I don't think he's got enough time to make the assessment to see if he's ready with all the stuff that goes into the real-life decision of playing pro football.
Well, right now it really doesn't matter because they won a national championship. He's saying, I wouldn't, if I were him, I wouldn't go to pro ball.
It may not be as hot as he is. It's a business decision.
Yeah, I know.
Will he be as hot in the future as he is right now?
Yeah. You know, when you have that momentum, everything you do just carries right on over. Now, the starting quarterback is in graduate school, I guess.
Which starting quarterback?
The first one.
Braxton Miller.
Braxton Miller. He could probably go to Florida, University of Florida, Florida State, Stanford.
Maryland needs a quarterback.
You know?
It does.
I don't think you're going to Maryland.
Oh, we can only put it out there.
Yeah.
Same conference?
If the money's right.
Maryland would never do that.
I'm sorry. Coming up, we'll open up for your calls. Mark Gray, 703-387-1020. Stay with us. Sports Talk Tuesday continues in a moment. We'll be right back.
For you guys to lose that first game to Virginia Tech, to come all the way back to being counted out versus Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship, to be counted out versus Alabama in the semis, and to be counted out once again in the final versus Oregon, just shows that the critics and the naysayers and the so-called experts don't mean nothing. Once you get inside those lines, that's when the real game starts. And you guys show what it means to be a true champion. And a guy being from Ohio, a supporter of you guys, I love it. It's unbelievable. I mean, so many emotions, man, and I couldn't be more proud of you guys, from all of you guys, every last one of you guys. Congratulations, man, to the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's right here, undisputed national champions.
Yeah, you know, spoken like a native son of Ohio. And you know, LeBron was loving the fact that the Buckeyes quarterback was a Cleveland guy. So we're back with radio host Mark Gray, and you can hear him regularly on The Fan. And,
Booster LeBron.
Huh?
I say he's LeBron the Booster. You know he gave everybody Beats headphones.
Man, the dude got so much money, man. I mean, he just used that from Nike money or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's great. I love to see that.
I do too.
He's down on the sideline, probably not even hurt, really, just kind of letting this guy see, okay, you know, if I'm not with you guys, you know. But no, he's a little beat up, but he's coming back, of course. Okay, Spencer, go ahead and kick it off.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, man.
Do you see anybody out of college this year, like Ohio State or Virginia Tech, making a good offensive line for the Redskins in the draft coming up soon?
Wow, I tell you what, I would like to swap out the offensive line minus Trent Williams and swap them for Ohio State's offensive line the way that they were road grading anybody. Yeah. I haven't really broken down the top offensive linemen. I think there's a couple of them at Wisconsin that are pretty good as well. But in terms of naming names right now, still digesting the entire body of work. So give me a couple of weeks, and I'll be all over that. But to your point, you sound like a heady guy because that has to be the focal point of what this franchise does to get better.
How about Brandon Scherff from Wisconsin, Iowa?
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Pretty good football player.
Yeah.
But again, they're rookies, still rookies. I mean, some rookies are great. I mean, you know, but
we've seen, like, look at a kid like Jake Long, a guy that can come in and immediately make an impact. Joe Staley type of guys come in and solidify your offensive line. So if you can find that home run hitter, there's certain home run positions in the NFL. Lockdown corner, offensive tackle, offensive guard, they can immediately make tangible impacts on your team if you hit the home run. Right. And this franchise in the front office hadn't really hit any singles yet.
Well, now that they're trying to get their general manager in there and all that, maybe he can flip a coin and make some choices out there. Because I don't think the Skins will win next year. They're not winning championship next year. But you know how pros are. All you need is 2 or 3 good players to kick it off.
Well, they got the offensive parts. You know, you got skill players. You got to fix the back end, the secondary. Don't be shocked if Landon Collins from Alabama, the safety, is the pick for Washington coming up in the draft. He's I got a source that tells me that mock drafts are saying he's the fifth pick.
Yeah, right.
He may be their pick right now, from what I'm hearing through the scuttlebutt at this moment.
Okay.
And they do need a free safety, and he played for Nick Saban. He might
well,
be
the rest of those guys, in my opinion, are not that they're bad players. They're special team players. Most of those guys that are starting for the Skins, little small guys. I mean, they're tough, but I mean, they're good for running down the field and stopping some people.
And Ryan Clark, I saw him this morning on the Worldwide Leader. Yeah. He looks real good in a business suit talking football.
And how long has he played? 14 years?
Yeah. It's happened already.
Because he took some. He was tired, man. I'm telling you. Keith, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, I got 2 questions for you. One question is college football playoffs and the NFL playoffs. Do you think they ever will expand to 16 teams? Because, like you said, we'll be watching football on Sunday nights and Monday nights, you know, like maybe a playoff game. And another question is, since Mark's on there, Mark, do you think that was a catch that Dennis Bryant made the other day?
I do, but not by the letter of the NFL law. I thought he made the play.
Yeah.
I did. I can't take anything away.
I'm a Dallas man, too. I got 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah, I'm a Dallas hater, but I appreciate a brilliant play.
Yeah.
He made a play, and this whole notion of what a football move is and all that, to me, right here, he's down by contact.
Right.
So everything was irrelevant after that call, and I thought about the Marv Levy line about, you know, an over-officious jerk. Well, in this case, the over-officious jerk was replayed. Yeah,
because he fumbled the ball and picked it up.
I don't think he fumbled. I thought he came down, he touched the defender, and the play should have been down at the 1-yard line. You know, you can talk all you want about one play doesn't make a game. That one play decided the game right there. You know, and as it relates to the expansion of the playoffs, I think 4 is where it's at. These college kids played 15 games.
Right.
You add another tier or 12 more teams, you're talking about 16, 17, 18 games. That's more than the NFL schedule. All right.
How about 8 teams? Shorten it up a little bit.
That's still
because not Division II, but 1AA is doing it.
I'm not a big fan of that either. You know, I think that because most of those schools that compete for championships at that level end up losing money with all the travel and what have you. They don't have the kind of money that the major college programs are. They can't afford $3,000 per family per player to bring them around. So you lose a lot of money there. I think 4 is where it's at because it really puts more of an emphasis on the regular season in college football. College football used to have the worst postseason, but the best regular season. I think with 4 teams right now, college is perfect. And if you're on the outside looking in, hey, let's talk about the New Year's 6. New Year's Eve was great. You know, New Year's Day was fantastic.
But you gotta be in the top 4 ball clubs in the country
to play for all the marbles.
Right.
You still get big paydays if you're playing on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve too.
Okay, lines are open for more. You call 703-387-1020. First, check out what's coming up on the sports.
Live from News Channel 8, this is Toyota Sports Talk with Glenn Harris.